All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning back in here to the ride along. If you remember, we had an episode fairly recently where we were talking with Miss Janaya Fix, who's here with us again today. And we were talking with Lindsay Grimm about some of the cool things that were coming to ISN. Well, today we're kind of shining a spotlight on one of our other big product promoters that we have here on the show, and that's Palmtech. And we have the founder of Palmtech, Will Singer, who's joining us here today too. So thank you guys both for jumping on and sharing a little bit about some of the cool stuff that's happening with Palmtech and things that home inspectors can really be excited about.
Sounds great. Excited to be here.
So really, one of the reasons, guys, that I wanted to feature Palmtech today is just because I've had a lot of questions. I've seen a lot of questions in some of the forums about pricing and about wanting to find the best value for product. And it's if you've shopped around as a home inspector for software, you know that prices are rising across the industry. And so, really, especially at a time when economically people are trying to find the most value, the most bang for their buck as a way to squeeze the most revenue out of their business, you want to be very intentional about the product that you're using and you want to get the most value for what you pay. And I have personally tested Palmtech in the field. In fact, when you guys were developing Palmtech Complete, I was kind of a little bit of a guinea pig on some of the report writer stuff that was coming out. And having used, I'll go ahead and say the names. I've used HomeGauge, I've used Tap Inspect, I've used several other report writers in my time as a home inspector. And I loved how intuitive the new report writer for Palmtech was. So as a software that really helps home inspectors deliver information as economically and efficiently and yet as visually pleasing as possible, I think you guys have done a fantastic job. And I'm excited to hear you guys share a little bit about what's present in the product today and what's kind of coming down the road for Palmtech users. So, and also, I love telling good stories. That's really the whole point of the show, is talking about home inspector stories, stories from the field, because again, at the end of the day, home inspection and indeed real estate in general, it's about people, right? Behind an inspection report is a person that wrote it, and there was a person that was on site helping somebody getting ready to buy their home. And so I love hearing the stories behind it. And we get to kind of feature one of these interesting stories, kind of a, pull yourself up by the bootstraps startup story from an entrepreneur and you, Mr. Will, because you have been involved with the home inspection industry for how long now?
Since 1998 was when we created Palmtech. So that's,
1998.
yeah.
So this is pre Y2K. And what kind of inspired you to start Palmtech?
I had a friend who was a home inspector. And it's like, we just thought about a really simple solution to writing reports. And when Microsoft came out with their mobile computing solutions, we just dove in right away and started creating solutions. And one of the really big things we wanted to see happen at that point was the ability for an inspector to do their inspection report while they do the inspection. So you can just record your data as you're working. And when you're done with your inspection, your report's done. One of the guiding lights that we took right from the very beginning is this idea. A lot of inspectors over the years worry about having their face buried in a computer or trying to, and somebody's interrupting them, asking them a question. But inspectors are in communications and a relationship business. And the software you use needs to be a simple tool. Just like any other tool you pull out of your tool pouch, it needs to be simple. You use to record your findings as you do your inspection. You need to be able to stop and answer a client's question or quickly summarize your findings to an agent. So Palmtech helps you do that.
And I find it fascinating because one, your idea was so ahead of its time. I mean, people were using paper reports and carbon copies well into the 2000s. And you sent a picture kind of to the group chat here when we were putting all of this together. You sent a picture of one of the first iterations of Palmtech. Tell me, for anybody listening, like on the video version, I can actually post this picture up, but for the audio version, just give a verbal picture of what all was included in the original Palmtech setup. This is fascinating.
Well, it's like, yeah, there was so much. And that picture I sent you was a picture of what we called our deluxe traveler package. It was a briefcase about this big that had a printer built in, all the wiring. you would carry a mobile device around to do your inspection. And when you were done, you would plug it up, print the report out for your customers on site, because that was the needs and the expectations then.
Yeah,
You know,
PDFs weren't a thing yet.
I'm sorry.
I said PDFs were not a thing yet.
Oh no, they really weren't. The PDF was new. It was very different. So
That's
um,
fascinating. So, really, I mean, even from then until now, Palmtech has really been a pretty iterative product. Like you've been able to kind of build it upon itself over the years. So, tell me a little bit, what was it like in the early days, and in what ways were you specifically looking to advance the industry?
our goal, a lot of times was our goal was always to keep it as simple as we can, just so they could communicate. It's so important. But being able to save an inspector time and make things faster and easier, one of the things I think we discount sometimes is the mental bandwidth it takes to think about multiple things at once. So for an inspector to be able to do their thing, to be able to deliver reports on site, one of the things that we did really early on, we were the very first people to introduce the idea of automated summaries. Like when you select a rating, it just decides whether to add it to summary. That saved inspectors so much time of being able to have to go back through, find things and copy and paste it and put it in. We were the first ones to be able to print on site. We were the first people to be able to email your reports right from a mobile device. Each step of the way, we just thought about things like completeness checks, things like that, that just help an inspector deliver better report and feel more confident in the end product when it actually got to their clients.
No, absolutely. And from 1998 until now, again, you were so forward thinking with this. So I would love to kind of get your picture on over those years, what were some of the biggest challenges that Palmtech faced, especially as like hardware changed, software changed? What were some of the biggest leaps, and what were some of the biggest challenges for Palmtech as a software?
Palmtech is, we have a lot of users who've been with us for a long, long time, and they've sat through and they've seen us reinvent ourselves multiple times. The latest reinvention of Palmtech is Palmtech Complete. This was a really big one because we took on some of the challenges, but each time, all through the process, we meet with inspectors, we talk with them, we listen. What are the things that you want? What is the part of your job, of your business that you'd like to improve? And we've made a lot of changes over the years, but really excited about the most recent ones that we've made in Palmtech Complete. We heard over and over, it's like it's such a pain in the neck to collect payments. And then I got to track and I got to find out. I know that was always the thing. It's like, okay, I want to see my AR report. Who owes me money so I can go back and start chasing them for money. Being able to automate payments makes that so much easier. Being able to get paid before your inspection, that reduces the number of people who don't show. Being able to get your agreements assigned ahead of time, your insurer will really like and appreciate that. And another change we've done just in the last few years is just the idea of interactive reports. PDFs were the standard for a long time, but with interactive reports, a client can click and say, show me the summary items. They can look through things. They can click on a picture and see it expand and see a bigger version of it than you can see in the PDF. And another thing that inspectors tell us over and over again is how much their agents appreciate having the ability to build the request list. So this is how the agents and the clients get together, and we just make it so easy for them to build their inspection response and send it off to the other party. So, these things, I mean, these are what I'm excited about now because these are the most recent changes, but there have been so many changes over the years. I think I talked about a lot of those a few minutes ago.
For sure, definitely. And Janaya, you've worked on a lot of these improvements as well. Will touched on some of them there, from automating payments all the way up to the delivery of the report. But what are some things that you've seen that are ways that Palmtech Complete has kind of built iteratively upon previous generations?
Absolutely. So last year, around the end of the year, we launched a feedback forum, right? And so, to Will's point, getting just as close to the customer as possible, right? And taking feedback from all of our customers, we were able to grab a bunch of great things to work on almost immediately. So, most recently, some people are going to be really excited about this. We've got camera flash. before, when you're in the dark space and you're trying to take a picture, it's hard to take a picture when you don't have the light. So building in the flash capabilities inside the camera while they're taking pictures was a huge improvement. And I'm really excited about that one. Another thing that we're doing or have done recently is we're completely revamping our camera and annotation, our image annotation part of the software. When we launched it, it was really big. It was very full of features. But what we found was that the customer feedback was the things I need to do every day weren't as easy anymore. And so what we did was we ripped all that out and we started again, and we really focused on the key use cases that an inspector is trying to do, like add an arrow, draw a circle, annotate the image. We focused there, and stripped everything else out. And excited to say that we've just launched that, and I'm really looking forward to everyone's feedback once they get to play with it a little bit. And then, we started out with a couple of new PDF templates. So we'll set interactive report. Well, we actually launched two PDF based reports, the Citizens 4 Point and the Florida wind mitigation templates. So those are available now to use with the Palmtech Complete product. And we've integrated the ability for you guys to offer warranties for, as part of your inspection. So building that peace of mind. And I know warranting something that is Will is really excited about. So I'll let him say whatever.
Yeah,
Sure.
why
I
don't you
mean,
jump in on that, Will?
yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, when a home inspector does an inspection, it's like there's always some element of risk. And we've partnered with Inspector Services Group, and what they're doing is they're giving you, the inspector, a warranty on your inspection for $10, and you can get that for half off for the first 6 months if you sign up with Palmtech. You can get peace of mind on your inspection. If it's in your report and something goes wrong, if that roof leaks, if there's a water heater problem, you're covered. You reduce your risk. It's so much peace of mind. And, especially when you think about the first 6 months for $5 an inspection, there's so much peace of mind in that. And we're just really excited to be able to offer that to our customers. Fully automatic. You sign up and it just happens automatically in the background. You don't have to do any extra steps, upload things or anything. It's really simple. And it's just another thing that I think is really great for our inspectors.
No, absolutely. I love that. So, I mean, obviously you could tell that you both are very passionate about this, but for you especially, Will, having launched this thing and having grown it, kind of shepherded it all the way to where it is now. What really excites you most as the founder of this company, and really seeing how far the platform has come since its inception?
I'm a person who loves to see a plan come to life. Like, you set out and you say, okay, here's what we want to do. I just love to see it come to life. And with each new generation of Palmtech, we just work hard to make inspectors' lives better and make it easier to do a great report. And for me, I'm always excited to talk to inspectors, hearing their challenges, hearing their feedback, and finding ways to solve them. Janaya was talking a few minutes ago about the image, and we talked to inspectors and they said, hey, we want to make it easier. And while we maintained a lot of the functionality that we had before, you can now lighten and darken pictures, do all that stuff that people asked for. But what we did is we just simplified the experience. So now when you click a picture, boom, I can draw an arrow like that, as simple as that. And just seeing those things come to life for me is what excites me. It just gets me up in the morning and makes me enjoy my job.
Oh, I love it. And Janaya, I've had a little bit of an opportunity to kind of see behind the scenes as far as visions for the future here go. So this is
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, I would love to pivot to talking kind of about where you guys are looking to take Palmtech next. So you guys have told me some of the things that you have currently implemented, but
Yeah.
give the listeners and the viewers a little bit of a sneak peek into where you guys are really looking to take Palmtech in the future. What are some cool things
Yeah.
that you guys are working on?
Some really cool things we're working on. Obviously, we've got the feedback forums. We've got this wealth of feedback that we can pull in. And so we're going to be pulling in a lot more quality of life improvements for our customers from that feedback forum, which is kind of bread and butter for what we're doing right now, or the icing on the cake, I guess I should say. Other things that we're working on, though, are specifically around growing the presence of the report writer and the ability to like brand yourself, right? It's really important when you're an inspector in the field that you're able to brand yourself. You're able to say, you know, this is my color scheme, this is my logo, this is maybe I want my report to look a specific way. And so we're really leaning into the idea of one, building your own template. So being able to pick and choose which fields go into your template and simply being able to build that for yourself. And then two, being able to choose from a bunch of different layouts for how your report could look. So the idea of having different color schemes and being able to put your own brand color in there, like all the way down to the exact color red that's in your logo. All of that will help us and help you differentiate, you know, your report from the report down the street, right? So that's really cool stuff that's coming. We're also working on incorporating narratives into our report writer, as well as a comment library. So the ability to store all your comments in a library. So maybe you don't want to use the template. Maybe you just want to keep all your comments in a library and you can call to that library to pull in information. And then some really cool, super secret stuff that we're working on is around AI.
Ooh.
I'm really excited about what AI can do to this industry. To be honest, it's so much. And I know that some of our customers are scared of AI in some ways, but I really feel like AI is not meant to, replace the customer and the inspector because there's no way that could possibly happen. But we could use it to make their lives so much easier. Imagine being able to put in just a small note and then have it type out a comment for you in a professional, courteous, with recommendations and everything easy. You didn't have to write too much. You just had to say that the, roof was sloping. Or upload an image, have the image get searched by AI and maybe have them indicate that there's different repairs that are needed or different discrepancies that are shown up. Or just as simple as creating an email template. Like making it easier for you to write an email template with AI. I don't know if anyone's used Chat GPT to try to build an email template. Well, what if it was just built into Palmtech, right? And made it just that simple. So there's a lot of really cool, like I geek out to this stuff happening on the AI front as well.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
love it.
just
How about you, Will?
yeah, I say there's just a ton of opportunity there, and I appreciate Janae's point of view. It's a pleasure to work with somebody who's an expert and professional in the product area, and she's done things like brought Canny to us, and the ability for us to do more. AI is really cool and interesting, and it's all about helping inspectors do their job better, helping inspectors to do work with less effort. And we look at the next few years, AI is going to be there and it's going to help you write better reports. And I just can't wait to see how everything gets bundled in and how it all works together.
Now, all right, so you're saying AI is going to help home inspectors, but it's not going to turn full Skynet on us, right? Like we're not going to see Judgment Day T2 happening here.
No, that not yet. At least not on my watch. Let's hope so. Let's go
I
back
love
to
it.
let's go back
I
to
don't
where
know,
I was
Palmtech
in
taking over the world.
1998. Yeah, Palmtech taking over the world, Skynet, Palmtech, whatever. But
Yeah.
no, I think the intention really is to use AI to help just pull information in from all different sources. What if we could put the IRC codes, right, of or things that are really valuable to you, but it takes time for you as an inspector to be able to locate and curate and and keep track of. So just I see it as a wealth of knowledge and tools to help the inspector just get through their inspection quicker because time is money. We know that, right? Like every time you're spending at an inspection, although it's, part of your business, it is also, it's money. So we want to help get through that as quick as possible.
Well, this will be a little bit of a toss-up question for both of you. So I am by no means actually, I wouldn't say that any of us here are old by any means. Even though I was, single digits when it was 1998. But it's I have had this recent experience where I see people in the Gen Zers, okay, early 20s, they're using technology or they're like, oh, have you seen this feature on this app over here? And I feel like such a Luddite. Where I'm like, I don't understand that. I've never used that. I don't even care to learn it. And then I go, oh my gosh, I'm sounding like so many people that I've known in the past. But truly, I mean, when you grow up in an era, you know what you know, and you've used what you've used for a long time. So for people who are used to older iterations, it might seem intimidating talking about AI or some of these future things or new things that are being implemented with Palmtech Complete. So, what would you guys say to the learning curve? Like, how easy is it really to kind of make those adjustments in workflow when you're adapting to new technology?
Yeah, and I just can't wait to jump in on this question because think about it this way. Imagine yourself, because when I grew up, there were no cell phones. When I started in business, there were no cell phones. I mean, they were the rare. Imagine yourself now not using a cell phone and all of the things that it does for you. And I see the same kind of changes. We've seen so many changes. Think about portable computers. Think about you're doing your inspections on a mobile device. There are so many changes, and technology is just always a great way to solve problems and make life better. So when we think about the changes, when we have new things, it's different, but so many times it's better and it's more, and it gives us the opportunity to do things faster, simpler, easier, and deliver a better product to our customers. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But I also think on top of that, it's our job to make AI part of the product in a way that it is not overwhelming, that it's easy to use, it's easy to understand, make it relevant in the industry as opposed to like, here's this new AI thing, go try to figure out how to make it work, right? My job is to make sure that the product is making that as easy as possible for everyone.
Well, and I know that we do have some training stuff coming up for that for Palm Tech too, right? Don't Is there a
Yep.
webinar coming up for that?
Yeah,
Yep.
there is.
Can you talk a little bit about that or what's going to be featured, what's going to be discussed?
We're going to have a webinar. I believe it's May 23rd, and we can go back and edit that if it's wrong.
That's correct.
And we're just going to talk about, Palmtech Completes, with some of the things that are new. And, one of the things that we talk about is how it's different, but it's better, for our thousands of regular users, who are using older versions. It's different, but it's better. And we'll talk about how payments are easier, how to set up agreements. We'll talk about all these things that we're doing to make things better and to make, to give you more and make your reports easier. That's what we're going to talk about in the web. We're just going to talk about Palmtech Complete and then have lots of time for your questions, for you to ask us questions and say, here's what we're doing and here's how we're doing it.
No, well, I love that you guys are offering that kind of customer support there. I think that's awesome. Last thing that I really want to touch on, and this is kind of coming back to your experience as a leader in the industry, Will. I think one of the big things that inspectors struggle with, especially when we are going through economic fluctuations, I guess kind of the drive in these types of seasons is just to work as much as possible because you just never know what's going to happen next with the economy. But as somebody that has managed a company, built a company, grown it, sold it, continued to run it, everything that you could possibly do from a business leadership perspective as an entrepreneur, what would your advice be to inspectors during a volatile season like we're in the real estate industry? How can they best structure their work-life balance as a leader of their business?
Sure. I mean, there's always a temptation to just work harder, to put your head down and try to just do more. But oftentimes these are the opportunities for you to step back, take a minute and think about, what am I going to do to make my business better? What can I do to differentiate myself from my competitors? What can I do to grow my business? And the slow times, sometimes it feels like, oh, I should be busy, I should be doing more, but really, this is the chance to think and, look at what we can do. I know, and I'll just say this, and so many inspectors think, I can't raise my prices ever. And my encouragement so often is, don't be afraid to raise your prices, because you got to stay in business. You can't let that fear drive you. You deliver a good product, you work hard for your money. Don't be afraid. And you don't have to jump at gigantic, but just think about it. And if you haven't raised prices for a while, this is a good opportunity to do that. So that's my 2 cents.
Very good. Very good. Well, guys, thank you so much both for being here. It's been great and exciting for me hearing the work that has gone into this product, especially as somebody in the field that uses these things myself. I'm not just a guy on, Porch's podcast here, but I use these as well. And I love seeing the effort and really the human element kind of behind it. It's people supporting people so that they can effectively run businesses. And again, the whole point of being an entrepreneur is building a business. Is to fund your perfect life, right? It's to be able to afford the lifestyle and the quality of life that you've always dreamed of. And having proper tools, just like when you're on site in the field, having proper tools just makes that job so much easier, so that you can put work away at the end of the day and go live your life. So I love seeing the thought and the detail that you guys have put into this. And I'm as appreciative of that as I am of the time that you guys have spent on the show here today. So thanks so much.